Thank you, Chairman Smith. I wanted to thank you for your leadership, and I am so excited to join you today as the newest co-chairman of the Pro-Life Caucus. Today we celebrate the biggest victory for life in American history, the Supreme Court decision in Dobbs v. Jackson. This court case held that the Constitution does not confer a right to abortion and returned the authority to regulate abortion to the American people and to their elected representatives. Roe v. Wade wrongly held that the 14th Amendment's reference to liberty protects the right to abortion. Planned Parenthood versus Casey subsequently upheld that argument, but Dobbs v. Jackson rightly rejected this specious argument. The Constitution makes no explicit reference to a right to an abortion. Why is this so? Well, some would claim that that's because it wasn't a relevant issue back in the 18th century when the Constitution was written. But this is not true. Abortion has been discussed historically since ancient times, documented as far back as 1075 BC in ancient Assyria. The Hippocratic Oath condemned abortion in the 5th century BC. So the Founding Fathers were well aware of the reality of abortion when they drafted the Constitution, and they did it guided by the principles of natural law, which according to Thomas Aquinas is understood by the light of right reason. The precepts of natural law are written in our hearts. We are naturally horrified by evil acts, murder being chief among them. Since human law is based upon natural law, we can rightly deduce that intentional killing of the innocent has no place in a civilized society. So as our Founding Fathers were drafting the Constitution, they never intended for the Constitution to be interpreted in such a manner as to directly contradict the natural law upon which our republic was founded. Nevertheless, Roe versus Wade did exactly that. Thank goodness we now have a Supreme Court that understands the Founders' intent and the natural moral law. One of the most important tasks we now have in a post-Roe world is the continuing fight for life at the federal level. Dobbs v. Jackson did not simply, quote, kick back the issue of abortion to the states. The wording in the court's opinion was very clear. The authority to regulate abortion is returned to the people and their elected representatives. Members of Congress and senators are elected representatives. Congress has the authority and the responsibility to legislate on this issue in certain areas. There are many policies within our purview. For instance, federal taxpayer dollars still flow to Planned Parenthood uninterrupted. According to the Charlotte Lozier Institute, between 2019 and 2024, Planned Parenthood was issued $66 million of direct funding through Title X. From 2019 to 2021, Planned Parenthood received $1.5 billion, yes, that's billion with a B, from Medicaid CHIP and $3.3 million from Medicare. There is no reason we cannot immediately turn off Planned Parenthood's government cash flow. Thankfully, the One Big Beautiful Bill in its current form protects taxpayers from being forced to fund Planned Parenthood. This provision must be preserved in the final bill, otherwise it will be very difficult for pro-life members to support the final package. Another example of the use of federal dollars is the use of federal dollars on the grotesque experiments used on baby body parts funded by you, the taxpayer. The National Institutes of Health spent $53 million on human fetal tissue research in 2023 and expects to spend $55 million in 2025. This is a human rights abuse, and it has not even produced valuable research. After nearly 100 years, no therapies have been discovered or developed that require aborted fetal tissue. Meanwhile, ethical alternatives for research and treatment are available and effective. Non-fetal cells were used to develop insulin for diabetes and Herceptin for breast cancer. Umbilical cord blood has treated thousands of people with blood disorders, and adult stem cells have saved over 1 million people worldwide. There is no reason to continue funding aborted fetal tissue research. That is why I introduced the Protecting Life and Integrity in Research Act of 2025, which blocks all federal funding for research involving human fetal tissue from an induced abortion. Language to accomplish this policy priority was included in the fiscal year 2025 Labor, Health, and Human Services Appropriations Bill, and I look forward to seeing it approved and included in the 2026 bill. Yet another issue is the rise of dangerous chemical abortions. Chemical abortions comprise over half of all abortions performed in the United States, and new research shows that this regimen is very dangerous to American women. More than 1 in 10 women who use chemical abortion pills experience serious adverse events, and the rate of serious adverse events is about 22 times higher than the rate stated by the FDA. It is a blatant lie that taking mifepristone is safer than Tylenol, as Planned Parenthood likes to say. Congress must act to protect women by reinstating the FDA's original requirement that mifepristone, the abortion pill, be dispensed in person under medical supervision, not by teleabortions. Prescribing these pills to pregnant women without an in-person evaluation for ectopic pregnancy or other conditions should be considered medical malpractice, which indeed it is. I look forward to working with my colleagues to address these issues. Today, we celebrate a milestone standing for life. A new study from the Journal of the American Medical Association found that since Dobbs v. Jackson, 22,180 babies more have been born in states that enacted pro-life protection laws. Praise God, what a beautiful gift. As we celebrate the 3rd anniversary of Dobbs v. Jackson, let us take comfort in knowing that we have successfully advanced the cause of human dignity in the United States. Let us continue to fight for life and never give up hope. The cause of human life is a righteous one because all life is precious in the eyes of God. Thank you. I yield back.
Dr. Onder, thank you very much for your tremendous work, including in the legislature before you came here. You were the author of several important initiatives, and we're very grateful for that. And as you are here, and so thank you. Really appreciate it. And it's an honor to have you as a co-chair of our Pro-Life Caucus.
It's a great honor. Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to